DZRJ now brings you an interview with one of our newsmakers.
All right, first time on Sunset Drive, we have on the line with us the Executive Director of the Institute for Political and Electoral Reforms and a political analyst, Mr. Ramon Casiple. Okay, sir, just yesterday, the NBC released its latest survey between June 3 to 6, stating a fact that President Aquino has been consistently dropping its approval rating from very good in its last survey to good. What should this mean to the administration?
Well, it's quite something that you have to take note of, and they should not deny it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not really alarming in the sense that the dropping of the satisfaction rating it occur actually at this time in all of the administrations. So if you're talking only of the dropping, it's not really a problem. The problem is if it's consistently dropping, and it has been consistent for the past 3 surveys already. And if it keeps going on, it may reach an alarming level. The alarming level for me is 45% approval rating or satisfaction rating.
Okay.
Not the net.
Yes,
the net is positive 46 today.
Yes, from
but
plus
positive,
51.
Yeah,
yes,
the
positive
positive
51.
satisfaction actually is I think 65 or 64. And that is far from the level of the voting figure that we had for him. It's 45% in the last election. So if that figure of the 64 keeps dropping, it has already dropped 5 points from 69 actually, from March to June, then that would be the alarming rate.
So how many more survey activities, sir, that would make the administration communicators make them in an alarming stage?
Well, at this rate of 5% every 3 months, then we're talking of 1 year. Then next June, it would already be below or at the level of 45%. So he has actually 1 year to correct what is ever necessary to be corrected. And that means that the next 1 year is crucial to the political survival of this administration. The honeymoon, I think, is over.
It's over.
That's one of the conclusions you can draw from the survey. And people expect now to produce results, that this administration will produce real results, not only in the promises, but particularly in the immediate day-to-day problems of the people. In fact, that's one of the nuances in this survey, that is, the figures are dropping for class D and E, and yet this is a reverse. The ABC is getting higher.
Okay, part of the results of the recent SWS survey was that it says there that the poor, seemingly poor, and the unsatisfactory leadership style and work ethics has practically dragged down President Aquino's rating. Would you agree on this, sir?
Well, yes, certainly up to a point. As I've said, the D and E are the ones that have affected the ratings. But you have to temper that with the fact that the dissatisfaction rating actually is still unchanged at 18% compared to March. So it's not really people, even D and E, who are getting dissatisfied with him. It's more that those who have expectations of him to do something were disappointed. So that's different. It's not yet dissatisfaction. meaning they're still giving him a chance.
The last three surveys that was conducted by SWS, as you were saying, has, of course, which has been found out also to be steadily going down. Is this something? Is this supposed to be not a surprise for everyone, for his critics and for the people around him? After, of course, the involvement of his appointees to a lot of controversies and scandals, and another thing is the fact that there has seemingly been not clear policies on economy, on environment, and as you said in April, land reform programs.
Yes, I would say that everybody knows that the dropping of the rating is not a surprise because that's been the trend since November or even before. But the figures last year are more or less coming from the unrealistic expectations. With around 90% before satisfaction rating, there's no way but to go down. So these are people who didn't vote for him and yet expected him to do what they think should be done, and they have been disappointed. This time around, I think a large part of those who drag down the rating, it's because they're already expecting something in relation to their own problems. And this is worrying. It should be worrying for the administration because it's a question already of performance.
Okay. In terms of his election promises, Mr. Casiple, can you say now that it is still in effect, meaning it is for the public would still be significant to see the results of his promises?
Well, in fact, that's one of the areas there that should be noted in this survey. I think people appreciated it, particularly the ABC crowd, regarding the anti-corruption aspect of his promises. The problem is the poverty question, because these are the ones that are
What about specifically on the poverty aspect, sir?
Well, the only policy there of note, I think, at this time is the CCT. This is the conditional cash transfer. But this only affects the poorest of the poor, not the poor, the general poor. And so there is no broad impact on the poor. And yet we have problems, for example, of inflation. We have problems of schools, tuition fees. We have problem of OFWs losing their jobs, etc. I mean, these are problems that are close to the heart of many families, and I think this is one major area that, rightly or wrongly, people expect this administration to immediately deliver results. But the CCT does not give them that kind of satisfaction.
Okay, the Manila and the Luzon approval rating of President Aquino are the areas where his approval rating has practically gone down. But Visayas and Mindanao, it has been rated as still very good. But with Manila and Luzon, it was rated as good. So why is that difference? Are there significant events that have happened in these two areas that make the president's approval rating sustain?
Yeah, I think there is an explanation there. That's one of the nuances of the survey. Manila, of course, as we know, is the one that mostly exposed to the media, and every event in the country usually has an immediate impact on the opinions of those in Metro Manila. So you would expect that the question of performance, for example, is immediately felt in this level. If you're talking balance of Luzon, remember, these are the areas that Noynoy himself doesn't have that much votes before. They're talking, of course, of the home provinces, and this is where the opponents are. Past President GMA. Of course, the northern Luzon has always been not anti-Aquino, but I mean they are not that keen because of the Marcos factor. And in fact, you can add to that there is a difference between the rural and the urban votes. And Luzon is basically an urbanized island. And most of the oppositions are based in Luzon. Visayas and Mindanao are more or less having different dynamics. And these are the regions that gave Noynoy a lot of their votes. And in fact, the satisfaction rating before in these two areas were very, very high. So there is a difference there. That these are also far from, usually from the media or the immediate events happening in the capital.